The barn find can be an exciting experience. It's not unusual to discover more than one car in a large barn, and sometimes they are in excellent condition. More often than not though, the barn finds are a whole lot of hard work.
The general state of a barn find can be not too bad if it's been kept or at least preserved to some extent by sitting in the barn. However, in many cases it may mean that there have been rats inside the car and they've eaten the upholstery, they've laid nests in the upholstery. In some cases other wild animals have got into the car, or in some cases people have taken the doors off and allowed the car to be used as a sort of chook shed or something. So the interior of the car can be in a really, really appalling condition. The exterior of the car might not be too bad, but then again, if it's had years of rust, etc., then it's decayed quite a bit.
So it all sounds like a lot of hard work. Surely it would be better to get hold of a running classic and restore it from there. Well, not always.
The advantage of finding a barn find is in many cases you will get an unmolested car, hopefully, in which case it has all its what's known as jewellery, which is all the chrome work, etc., still with the vehicle. Obviously, the most desirable barn finds are those cars that are considered to be very desirable, like Bugattis or Rolls-Royce, etc. And in some cases, people do find them in barns. In some cases, people have opened a barn and literally found a car that is very, very desirable. In America particularly, they have found what were known as concept cars, cars that were produced by car companies as a one-off, shown at a motor show, and then in theory they were scrapped, but in reality they weren't. And some people have had the luck of opening a barn and finding a concept car, which is unique. It's a one-off.
We don't condone snooping around other people's property though. If you do spot a car that you would like a closer look at, you need to contact the property owner to organise a closer inspection, like we did with these beauties. Classic car fans will always be searching for those elusive treasure moments, but they don't come along often. And remember not to get too excited by a rusting hulk in a shed somewhere, unless you really, really love it, or it's a collector's car. It could be more hassle than it's worth. Today's Classic of Tomorrow is from a British car maker with an enviable list of true classic cars under its belt. Only a handful of cars are recognisable in an instant, like classic Jaguars, with their sleek lines and bold, distinct styling. As we move through the evolution of any manufacturer, we see a convergence of design ideas. The selection of sports cars on offer was once an eclectic mix of unique cars. Now sometimes it can be hard to tell them apart. This is the Jaguar XKR. In the grand tradition of high-powered performance Jaguars, it's a supercharged 5-litre V8 that packs quite a punch. Designed by Ian Callum, the man behind the styling of the Aston Martin Vantage. So how much does it cost to buy a performance car of today that will be a classic of tomorrow? Around £60,000, or about $95,000 will get you a new one. It will depreciate in value fairly quickly, but hold on to it and look after it, and you will have a classic of tomorrow. You might just have to wait about 40 years. 40 years of fun driving though. So you've always dreamed of owning a Formula One race car, tearing around the track at 200 miles an hour. But maybe you just don't have the millions to spare. So it's time to look for something a little more practical that will still fuel your high-octane dream, like a Porsche 911.
Yeah.
We took a look around to see just how deep your pockets need to be to get behind the wheel of one of the most successful competition cars of all time. Since its introduction in 1963, the Porsche 911 has undergone continuous development, but the basic concept has remained the same, with its rear-engine design and independent rear suspension. The most notable change was the introduction in 1998 of a water-cooled engine, replacing the previously air-cooled power plant. Although there are always many risks that require thorough research when buying second-hand cars, many Porsche 911 owners are generally enthusiasts who have taken good care of their vehicles. Woo! We went shopping for the 1969 model, like this slick black speedster, for around $30,000 or £18,000. Another option was our 1970s 2.2 litre at just under $43,000 or £26,000. A tad more pricey, but worth every penny after being fully restored to its original pristine condition, this 1969 White Dazzle was fetching around $60,000 or £37,000. With so many of these elegant beauties available throughout the market, you'll be sure to find that thrill ride you've been looking for without costing you the earth. So how well did you go with your first peek? How well did you know your chrome? Here's a quick update. Did you guess it right away, or are you still pondering? Take a look at these shots. We're showing you a little more of the car here, so you should be able to pick it. The answer is coming soon. Next on CC Classic Cars, we reveal the Know Your Chrome mystery car and then go for a cruise in some classic American monsters. So how well did you know your chrome? If you said it was a Maserati Merak, you would be right. Introduced in 1972, the V6 Maserati Merak was a cheaper, lighter and less powerful version of the Maserati Bora. With a lower weight ratio and better weight distribution, the Merak may have had less power, but it handled far better than its V8 counterpart.
Ladies,
Gentlemen,
the magic of the past doesn't last.
what we want to see
Is the magic
of the present.
The new Oldsmobile. You will be enchanted by its comfort and power.
In this car, you feel like everything's coming up roses.
Some may say that they just don't make them like they used to, and in the case of this pair of 1960 Yank tanks, they definitely don't. Oldsmobiles were produced from 1949 until 1999 as a division of General Motors, and from 1950 to 1974, the 88 was the division's top-selling line. This is Yank 60, a 1960 Oldsmobile Dynamic 88 four-door sedan. It comes with a veranda roof. And this is Tank 60, also a 1960 Oldsmobile Dynamic 88, but this is the sportier two-door coupe. Both Yank and Tank are fourth-generation 88s, and the pride and joy of father and son team John and Scott Clisby.
I've had the Oldsmobile for probably 10 years now. Bought it locally. My father's was actually a 50th birthday present, so he's had his for about 10 years as well. So yeah, it's quite good fun. Almost matching cars, same year, same make, same model.
The fourth generation models were completely restyled by General Motors with a longer, lower and wider body, which was promoted as the linear look by the American manufacturer. Other changes included a new grille and taillights, a revised rear design and a modernised instrument panel. These cars were built for cruising, with a soft suspension and turning circle of a jumbo jet, and a larger-than-life personality. Under the hood, both these beauties are powered by the same 371 cubic inch rocket V8 that was carried over from the 57-58 models and came as standard on all dynamic 88s of the year. While many cars of the time feature bigger and sharper fins and tons of chrome, the 4th generation 88s featured a more subdued look with subtle oval fins and much less chrome. Yet both these cars with their sharp 60s stylings still make their own undeniable statement to the world.
Yeah, probably if you're looking to buy one today, you're probably looking around $20,000 to buy one. As far as worldwide production figures, I think they only made around the 50,000-60,000 for the year. So again, it's not a huge volume, but yeah, a few of them have still survived and a few are still going.
The driving experience is great and they're so easy to handle, with power steering that makes these giants surprisingly responsive. They're also very comfortable, with a 6-way power seat that adjusts your driving position backwards, forwards, up or down, a feature not fitted as standard on many modern cars.
For a 1960 car, it's got power seats. It's a pillarless car, which means you can wind down the windows and have no door pillars. They come with an electronic eye, which is a headlight sensor gadget, gizmo from the 60s. And yeah, it's a large V8, automatic, very comfy to ride around in, very drivable car.
As far as maintenance goes, most of the drivetrain is American and available. Body parts are a bit harder to find, and you'll need to source those from the States if you have to. Of course, these parts are getting harder to find even in the US, as stock thins out after a half a century of bumps and dings. General tuning and maintenance is pretty straightforward though, and you should be able to get most components over the internet or even locally. The great thing about owning any classic car is that their running costs are about the same as a new car. Yep, they sure don't make them like they used to, but at least, with a few classics still doing the rounds, the good news is that they don't have to. So what does Scott think is the best thing about being the owner of an Oldsmobile Dynamic 88?
Oh, it's just a cool car to cruise around in. You know, you get lots of looks, people always stopping you, asking questions about it, and yeah, it was just a classic car that you know, if I look after it, it's one of the few cars I'll actually appreciate over time and become more and more collectible.
Classic cars are everywhere, from the much-loved runabout to the rare and valuable collector's items. One thing we all agree, there's nothing better than a classic, like this stunning Jaguar sports car that was once owned by Hollywood tough guy Steve McQueen, or this Rover P6, voted the very first European Car of the Year. Of course, you don't have to be rich to drive a classic. You just have to love classic cars.